Hi there, and welcome. I'm Barb Hasenfeld, and this is my permaculture garden. What I'd like to do is take you on a little tour and tell you a bit more about permaculture. It is a design system whereby it allows people to maximize their food production, and that's what we're trying to do here in our property. So I'd like to just explain a bit of that to you. So what we have here are some raised beds in the front of our yard, which used to be an area of lawn. And when we first moved here a few months ago, we took out the lawn with a sod remover, and we basically laid out the plants of the beds with some wood, and we tilled it first, and we added composted cow manure, and then we formed it into these beds and built the beds with this wood. And this is just a few months later, and this is the production we got on our first crop. So we have in the forefront globe artichokes and lots of bee forage plants. There we've got borage and lots of Swiss chard. And here we have lettuces that have gone to seed, parsley that we're allowing to go to seed so we don't have to seed them next year, kale, zucchini, basil, peppers or capsicum, cabbages, some huge cabbages in the background here, corn, and many other things, onions and parsley and so on. And what we're trying to do is grow as much food as we can in this area in our front yard, which is south facing, and that's why we've done such a radical thing as take over our front yard with vegetables. And lots of people, I think it's a bit of a hazard because as people are driving by on the street, they tend to go like that, and their necks are getting kinks in them, I can see. So it's been a bit of a hazard having this in the front yard, but I do recommend. It's a great thing to do. So we'll move on to the next. All right, so what we have here is we have a cherry tree, which is actually a top-grafted Evans cherry, which is a great cold climate tree to grow in places like Alberta in the 90 frost-free zone where we are here. And we have a bit of a permaculture guild going on here. We've got some borage underneath, which is a great bee attractant with a beautiful blue flower. It's edible as well. It accumulates a lot of nutrients that you can always use it to put into your fertilizer teas and so on. And we have honeyberry bushes growing next to the borage here. And this is a very cold hardy plant, which is a bit new to this area. I think comes from Japan or maybe Russia, I'm not sure, Japan. And it will be a small shrub, 1 meter high. We've also got mint plants and thyme and other herbs and the flowers underneath here. And so they're all kind of growing and working together. We don't have to maintain this area much. So it's a great thing to do under your fruit trees like this. Now this tree has provided us with probably close to 100 pounds of fruit this year. We've filled an entire deep freeze with the fruit off this tree. So it's been fantastic. And here we are in the middle of September, and we've just had our first frost last night, so that's why you're not seeing any fruit here. But if you look over here to the pumpkin patch, you'll see the results of our first frost, which has pretty much just decimated the pumpkins. Now, this bed we built out of the sod that we took off the front lawn there, using these off-cut bits of wood from the sawmill, and we've got many of these boards, many boards, enough to build all of our raised beds for about equivalent of $30. So it's a cheap resource for building raised beds. And we interlayered that sod with composted cow manure, and so what's happened is, as it was breaking down, we were still able to get a crop of pumpkins in here. And we've got quite a few pumpkins off of this, even though some of them are quite small. They'll ripen up. And next year this will be ready for lots of other vegetables. We also hope to build a hooped bed over, or hooped sort of greenhouse over it with plastic and polypipe to make extend the seasons a bit and make a little bit of a greenhouse for growing seedlings on early. So that's what we want to do with this area, and this was part of our driveway. Because we had 8 parking spots here, and we certainly did not need 8 for 2 people and 2 cars. So we are starting to take over some of our driveway and make it into vegetable gardens, and this is one way you can do it. So what we have here is another example of a raised bed that we're building just on the edge of the driveway. And here you can see the sod that we've taken off the lawn, and it's kind of been thrown here, but it will be layered in with cow manure, or it could be kitchen scraps or anything like that you have. And we also have soil that we've dug out a hole, and then we just build the bed around it. And again, we're using these offcuts from the sawmill, and this is just to show you how it's done and how easy it is to easily put in veggie bed space in your yard. Okay, so here we are at the front of the house, and we're lucky that we bought an old house with a sunroom on it. And you can see this is our south direction, facing south, and the winter sun angle is much lower than the summer sun angle, so fall, winter, spring we get a lot of sun in here, and that helps to warm up the house. And just through this door there is our kitchen, and so very close to the kitchen you want to have, in your zone 1 in permaculture, you want to have your herbs and things that you use a lot of. So right here we have all of our kitchen herbs growing, and herbs for teas and stuff. We also have lots of other flowers that are great for bees. We really are interested in attracting bees and pollinators into our property to help pollinate the fruit, and just because we like them so much and we eat lots of honey. And so lots of flowers. Good reasons for having lots of flowers. The other reason for having flowers is that you can attract predator insects, which will help look after your pest insects. And that is species like cosmos is great for that. Sweet alyssum is great for that. We grow lots of Queen Anne's lace, which we might show you later on, and that helps to look after our pest problems. Okay, so over here in the backyard we have a few features. We have a fire pit area and a nice entertainment area. It's a great spot for socializing and being outside in the outdoors. We have a couple of big poplar trees and a spruce tree here, which make a lot of fantastic shade in the summer, and we like to sit outside and eat, and so these picnic tables are kind of in the best shady spot. They also attract a lot of birds, and so we really like that. We do get a lot of birds nesting in there. And in the winter or in the fall months they drop their leaves, and we use the leaves for mulch in the garden. So that's a lot of biomass and so on. Here we are drying our clothes outside. We don't use a clothes dryer whenever it's warm, and at least when it's not icy and frosty, we can dry our clothes. And what else can I tell you? Here we have the front of the garage is got a lot of windows here, so in the winter you can also grow some things behind those windows, and that's been done in the past. And we have it's a hot, protected, sheltered location, so we're growing our tomato plants here at the moment, and we've also got a grape started on for the trellis in the back. But one day we hope to actually build out a small greenhouse right here, because it's a south-facing position, and this will be a fantastic growing area for the early spring and the late fall for extending the seasons again. So that's one thing that we hope to do in the future. Here, we're collecting rain from all corners of our house. We have a rain barrel here. We have another one over there, and we use that water for watering the garden. What we hope to do eventually is to put the rainwater barrels up high on a stand, so that we can have a tap in the bottom of the barrel, which will then gravity feed down through the hose and into the garden. So that will make things a lot easier for that. Lots of vertical space is being created to grow plants up high. So especially in an urban environment like this, space is an issue for growing a lot of your food, so we're trying to use vertical space as much as possible.